All right, I got JT in the hot seat over at Recycled Idaho. We're going to talk about Drill Pro. We're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about how everything got going. So, introduce yourself to all our listeners. We did a boots on the ground, what, in the summer.
Yeah.
Been a while.
It's
We've been trying to get to the follow up sit down
yeah,
version.
it's been a while.
And here it is. You're our first group that is in the mining community. So I got a lot of questions, but I want you to introduce yourself real quick.
Um, my name's JT Cunnington. I'm the manager of Drill Pro. Drill Pro's been established since 1988. We're in the Boise area. We moved locations in about 2009-10 to a Napa location. We were there for about 4 years, shut down shop, reopened in Caldwell. And
The Napa one's the one I've been to.
yes, yeah. So Interstate Trailers ended up buying that building from
Okay.
us, and then we were going to be basically shut down for good, but all
That's
of
what
our
I
old
thought.
customers.
We'll get there though. I
All
want to
right.
start. Your dad, Bill.
Yeah,
Did he start the company?
yeah. My dad, Bill, he started the company in 1988. He had a business partner. Business partner left in '89, and he started making, I believe, some sort of cylinders for the drill rigs, the old drill rigs that used to have the feet that come out. So he would do those, and then all of a sudden it turned into like, well, can you do this part? Can you do this part? And then it became just everything from the top of the head of the drill all the way to the deck table of the drill. So drill steels, subs, deck bushings, deck tables, slide forks, carousel cups, bit baskets.
So he started with one. What component was it? What?
It was like a cylinder. I can't remember what they were exactly
But
because we never made them when I was
he's
there.
okay. Is that like old tech? It's not
Yeah, it was.
something that's
It's
not around
something that
anymore?
they basically kind of scrapped out those old kind of drills.
Okay. But he
And
started. Did he start there because he had an opportunity to do that for someone, and then
yeah,
it slowly turned into these other things that
yeah.
the
So
industry needed.
he was a engineer for Ingersoll Rand for about 5-6 years. He did not like how Ingersoll was running their business because there was a lot of play and not enough work.
What
And
did they do?
Ingersoll Rand, oh, they
Yeah.
did everything. They did a lot of the mining stuff from building drills and all this kind of stuff to, I mean, anything that,
So they're building
yeah.
their manufacturing.
Yeah, and then they
stuff
also
for,
do compressors, and
Okay.
they were
'Cause I've heard of
Ingersoll
them.
Rand's everywhere.
They're
So I mean,
huge.
sometimes yeah, and they're still very big. I mean, you'll be driving around and you see Ingersoll Rand just trailer parts
Yeah.
just flying down the
Yeah,
street.
I've seen
So
them. Do they have a presence here, like a manufacturing presence
not
in
here.
Idaho?
No, not in Idaho. No,
So
I'm
where
not
was
exactly
your
sure.
where was your dad at when he worked with them?
I think they were in Pennsylvania, and they were just flying them around wherever. So I
Okay.
mean, he was going to different countries, working on whatever drills that they had, and uh, he was working around in Nevada gold mines. And basically, a lot of these miners were just like, "Hey, we're not getting the support. We're not getting these things done. If you say you can do this, we will." And he had like 12 customers and 12 mines that were like, "We will just buy from you if you can
If you
just do."
can, because how do you say the company he worked for?
Ingersoll Rand.
Ingersoll Rand. They couldn't handle what they were asking. They didn't support that, and then your dad kind of saw opportunity.
Well, it wasn't that they didn't support it, but
Were
it
they
was
too
just
big?
slow. It was slow.
They're
And so,
corporate.
like, yeah, when you
They're
have, like,
corporate. The
yeah,
red tape.
yeah,
They're too big for their own good. They can't get out of their way. Like we talk about that a lot on this show. Like it's nice to grow and it's awesome, but you gotta find there's like that tipping point
yeah,
where you just get too big, where you're like it's got to get approved by 10 managers, and then it takes 2 weeks. Like we're still at a point, like our companies, it takes one phone call. All right, let's do it.
yeah, get it done.
We're nimble, and you guys seem that way too.
And that's how we are. Like, a lot of these customers, like, if they need emergency things, like, I get it done within as fast as I can. Where if you go to, like, these bigger companies, like an Atlas Copco, a CAT, and all this stuff, like, they could have a lead time of 3 to 6 months. And they're like, we don't
Yeah.
have that long to wait. We have to get going now.
Yeah,
Because
if you're
time
down
is
that
money.
long,
Yeah.
you can't
yes.
be down that long.
Yeah,
Like
especially
it's,
for drilling. It's time is money. Every hour is hundreds of $1,000s because they're not
oh
moving dirt.
yeah,
They're not moving dirt. They're not getting
gotta
stuff
be.
to process. And it's just that's a pain in the butt for them.
Because even for us, when we have a machine go down or a baler, anything in our that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
I can only imagine like at a gold mine.
Yeah.
Like that's like 6x
Yeah.
times.
Oh,
like,
guaranteed. Yeah.
It's crazy. 1988. What year were you born?
86.
Okay, so you were around before he started it.
Yeah.
So where were you born?
I was born in Boise.
Oh,
So,
okay,
yeah,
you're in Idaho.
Yeah,
You're
I've
in
never
local
lived
Idaho?
anywhere. Yeah, never
Okay.
left Idaho.
Okay.
So I never seen
Was
the
your
rest of
dad
the world. My dad
always
was
from here?
Oh, man, from my understanding, yes. I mean, my grandfather was in the military, so
Kind of had to move around.
He
with
did
his
move
dad.
around, I think, a little bit, but not so much because he was in the National Guard. But my dad did do a lot of ranching. He ranched in Montana for the Tiffins Ranch.
Okay.
And then he was out in the Weiser, so he ranched in Weiser. So and then he ended up getting into milk corrugators, so the stuff that crushes up flour and wheat and all that stuff,
Okay.
making the powder. And then he ended up getting a job with Ingersoll Rand, and then he started Drill Pro.
Gotcha. And he had an engineering degree?
No. He
No.
had just learned on the job.
That's awesome, man. That's the best way. And you don't see that with those types of jobs
No.
nowadays. And but you are seeing a shift. Like I talk to a lot of people, and I talk to schools. Like you see, like their attendance is down. And there's always going to be a need for universities, but
what degrees are they getting?
if you
thing.
need, like, say you're going there to be a doctor or
Yeah.
like a lawyer or
Well,
like
doctor,
a psychiatrist,
engineer, computer
engineer,
programmers.
like, you have to get a degree. I get it.
Yeah.
I get those. Like, but if you're going just to make your parents happy, like you're doing something wrong. And I think a lot of kids, like our generation, probably did that. They went to, because that's what you did.
Well, and then most of them fell out of school or didn't even go to classes, and they partied most of the time.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I went. I thought that's what I should do,
Yeah.
and I just hated it. Like I hated it. Like I liked working.
Yeah.
I'd rather be on a roofs back then. I'd rather be roofing a house than sitting in classes.
Right.
I don't know what I wanted to do. I was 19. I wanted to drink beer.
That was the same thing. So I graduated in 2004, and then right after school, I just started working for my dad. I was going to school part-time, but I was like, I don't know what I want to do in schooling. So it's like I picked the easiest degree I could think about getting, and it was just like business communications. Mm-hmm. And because you just see the class schedule, and the class schedule was just like nonsense stuff. It's like nothing that really put any real value to what I would thought, and that made the labor force.
You know what most people do after they get a degree in communication? They go to the NFL.
Right, yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. That's what I
Easiest business degree.
I don't have a degree, so I'm just joking. Kudos to everyone that went out there and got through it and did it. But I do see a big shift where trades are more respected, trade schools are more respected, and just like me, like I don't care if you have a degree. Like even if our marketing department,
Right.
I don't care. I care if you have the drive, you want to learn, and that's what matters to our culture. And it seems like a lot of companies like ours and yours have that same kind of culture going on there. Like we just want someone that we could teach, that's going to come to work. They don't have to be the best all the time, but give it your best effort, and that's all I need.
Oh, yeah.
So
I've recycled through a lot of employees. I mean, find someone who's actually just dedicated and showing up, for a 40-hour work week it's not as easy as it sounds. And everyone's just like, well, you can pay as much as, you want a good employee, you pay them high dollar. And it's like, well, as soon as they come and apply and they tell me that they can do this and this and this, and I set them up on a machine or a welder, they can't do anything. They're like, well, I have certifications in this, but like actual work experience, it's very rare. Most of these guys that I end up hiring, they're like in their late 40s, and that's where they have the real work experience. But young kids, like even my age or even a little bit younger, they have no work experience, so they have no work ethic.
And
that's one of the hardest things to find, somebody with work ethic.
They're still out there.
And
They're still out
there
there.
are,
They're harder to find
yeah.
maybe, and
But a lot of these guys who have the work ethic, they
yeah,
start their own stuff.
yeah, that's true. But
So,
there's some people that don't want that headache, and um, it always cracks me up because a lot of people bitching about the work ethic of this generation. A lot of people bitching about it are the people that raised this generation.
oh yeah,
So it's kind of like a
yeah,
chicken before the egg. Whose fault is it? Is it you raised them, or
yeah.
is it society?
I
It's a
do.
whole like combination of
Yeah.
factors. But I've noticed already kind of a shift. Like some people that are willing to hustle, they see the opportunity because 9 out of 10 of their peers aren't willing to hustle. So that 1 out of 10, they're gonna have so much more opportunity, and you're gonna.
Oh yes.
And then the next generation coming up. I, I talk to a lot of schools. I see a lot of these kids. I have a firm belief that this next generation is gonna have a whole lot of hustle about them, just because the prior one didn't really. I think it kind of works in steps.
It might,
But who knows? I
yeah.
could be wrong. It could get progressively worse. But
I think too, it just depends on like how they teach them in schools. If they're going to school, I think a lot of the stuff schools teach in this day and age, there's a lot of nonsense in them. They don't teach them about finances, so like how to buy a house.
They never did though.
Yeah,
right?
they never have.
I don't.
But
Like,
even
I don't
like,
remember any of that.
but they give them a lot of classes that just seem like it's a waste of time. And it's like, wouldn't you rather just these kids go to school for 4 hours and get, real world like experiences and common knowledge of, obviously you got your basics, reading, writing, you got history, and then they need to be learning about finances and how to budget a
I think
book.
it should be required.
Yeah,
Financing, like how to budget your money.
Yeah,
Because
and
that's
multiple classes of that. Like how many people, like when I went to school, I was in calculus. I've never used calculus, and I forgot everything about it.
I wasn't smart enough for calculus.
So
I was in the
just
dumb
like,
kid math.
yeah.
But
I didn't do very well in calculus, but I
you
was
made it
okay.
there.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't know why, but
And I can only speak to my daughter's school. She's a junior in high school. It kind of goes back to like when you went to college. You took the easiest classes.
yeah,
Because that's what you wanted
you
to
wanted
do.
the easiest degree,
And
so
my
less headaches.
My daughter, I should take zero credit in this. That she is a great student, and she's awesome, but she takes drafting, small engine repair,
Yeah.
and she's probably gonna go to BSU to be an engineer, and she's gonna graduate high school with an associate's, which is
That's pretty cool.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
So the opportunities are there. But I see both sides of it because I've heard of other schools that don't have those same type of offers,
Which is crazy.
So I'm just speaking to Ridgeview. So shout out to the teachers over at Ridgeview High School. And I go to all her parent-teacher conferences. I talk to them. And I tell her this because she's still a teenager. She always has those couple teachers that she says are out to get her. Oh, I know so-and-so, like, just is out to get me, blah blah blah, and I'm like, first of all, they're probably not.
Right.
Second
yeah.
of all, this is one thing I think.
Those are the hormones just taking place. Like,
Yes.
they're just mean to me.
And I didn't think of this till I was a parent. I tell her like you're gonna have a lot of jobs where you think your supervisor or the owner or the manager like is a dumbass or they're not as smart as you. They probably know more than you. But you also might be right at the same time. I said, but when you're in that class or you're at that job, you need to listen to them. You have to figure out how to make that work. So I do think there's a lot of value of like, even if the teacher's not the greatest, but you know what? You need to figure out how to make it work with them. Hey, teacher, how do I get my grade up? How do I do this? How do I do this? And those are skills that I think get lost on a lot of kids because parents are more apt to blame the teacher.
Oh, right.
They'll be like, hey, why has my kid got an F? I'm like, well, you need to figure it out with that teacher. So I think it's a combination.
I agree with you. I think, too, it's like, especially when they get up to the junior, like senior years, like developing communications with, your peers or your others, that's like a big way to problem solve. So if you're not doing good in class or whatever, you should be able to talk to the teacher instead of just being like, Teacher's mean. Teacher's a dick.
And, yep, that's what
And
my kid
and
does.
that's what it is.
I
But
said,
that just teaches the same skills with getting into a job profession
Yep.
or a career. It's like you're not going to agree with everybody, and I've had that with many employees where they just don't get along. And I'm like, well, figure out how you guys can work together instead
You
of
don't
me
have to
just
be
being
best
like,
friends.
you guys both want me to fire each other. And it's
Yeah.
like, this guy's not doing this, and then they come back, this guy's doing this, or this guy's not doing this, and he's lazy. I'm like, well, go talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, figure it out.
That's a skill a lot of people lack. I've noticed, especially some of the younger generation. You know.
But lucky for me, I'm just big, so as soon as I get out, they just like, oh, we better get
They
to
just
work.
listen
Yeah,
to
yeah,
you.
they're like, we better get to work.
Oh shit!
Act
he's
busy.
coming.
They're scrubbing down just a saw. I'm like, what are you doing? Cut something on it. Don't scrub it.
So let's get back into it, into Drill Pro.
Drill Pro.
Okay, your dad started it.
Mm-hmm.
When did he move to the Nampa location off of? Was that off of?
So he moved.
What road's that on?
Well, he built that building. So he, let's see, what was it? It was like 2007, 8. So that's when we had that big economic crash.
Yeah.
Right. And so what the situation with that was, we were doing a lot of business. We were outgrowing the location we were at, and
And your first location was where?
it was in Garden City off
It was
of
in Garden City, okay.
it was off of 39th Street
Okay.
to right behind the Golden Walk.
Okay.
Yeah, so so we moved from there, and he built that location, and we were there because we were doing tons of business with Walter Energy Mine. There was the Wolverine.
Where are they mining?
They were mining coal.
Coal. Because I remember when I first met you guys were.
We were doing a
heavily
lot
into
of coal. Yeah.
miners.
So bad situation with that was we were so busy with the coal mines, we kind of let go of a lot of Nevada mines, and we had some sales.
Because Nevada mines are gold, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay.
Mostly, yeah. I mean, I would say probably 90% of all of them are gold.
Gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not more. So when we were there, I mean, we were doing great. We were doing a lot of work out of that shop, and then was it 2013? The coal economy crashed. China was renegotiating prices with Canada, and essentially things did not work out between them. There was a lot of Chinese workers up in the Walter Energy mine, and basically the mine kind of shut down and sent all their workers back on a coal boat back to China, from my understanding.
Where were they at?
They were up in
Like, where are they mining coal? Where were they mining coal?
I'm trying to think of where. I can't remember what the town was.
What state?
No, it was Canada. I
Oh,
think it was
they were up
British
in
Columbia.
Canada.
Yeah, British Columbia. Yeah.
So they're near the coast.
Oh, even up
They're
to the
on
north,
the-
on the very north.
They're up there.
Yeah.
It's where it's
They're
cold,
close.
cold.
Yeah, close to Santa.
Okay,
So-
they're in the cold.
Yeah, they're in the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't no fun to go up there from
Did
my
you ever
understanding.
get to go up there?
No. I had no desire to go up there.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
like the
blame
cold
you.
that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bill did. He went up there plenty of times. He helped get all their drills all set up and fine tune them so that they were just operating at
So
maximum
Bill
speed.
would even go like
Yeah.
do that level of service.
Yeah,
Which that's probably
we
hard to
still do
find.
that now. Like we got to go to the Kiewit mine in Soda Springs, and we're going to revamp their drill from going from let's see, they want to go from 7.5/8 drill steel down to 5.5. So
What are they mining up there?
sulfur.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. What do we use sulfur for? What's that in? All sorts of stuff.
All
probably.
sorts of stuff, everything. It's like not just
It's not
one
like
specific
one
thing.
big thing.
Yeah, it's not like just gold. You're just making gold and putting it in little
Electronics or
billions.
jewelry.
Yeah, sulfur
you know.
goes into quite a bit of different
Okay.
stuff. So when we were at Thompson Creek, that was a moly mine. Moly goes into metals and
Molybdenum,
yep,
right?
yep, and
That's
that goes
in-
into everything as well. So
That stuff's worth a lot of money.
yeah, it is,
used to
but
be.
it used to be. It still has some high points and low points. They're talking about reopening that mine and mining the back end of the mountain. They just got to work out the details with the Forest Service and the
'Cause
government.
we see that in 316 stainless moly.
Mm-hmm.
It's got, I think 3 to 6% moly, and
Yeah.
it helps give it 3/16 worth more than your typical 304 stainless.
Yeah.
So that's the only time that I ever deal with
it. Yeah.
that. So that's the only
Well,
time
you're
that,
probably dealing with it right now, and that.
yeah,
And then
it's probably in all sorts of stuff. I
Yeah,
don't
Molly's
even
in
know.
a lot of different stuff. So I mean, if there's
Is
metal, that's probably
Do
has
you
some
know
Molly into them.
why it is? Does it heat resistant properties? I'm not really sure. I'll have to look that
Man,
up.
dude, I'm a drill steel maker.
I'm a
I'm
scrap
not
guy.
a mineral
You
guy.
bring it to me. I know the price
Yeah,
and I crush it.
yeah.
You know?
Then you give me the reports of what it's going into.
Yeah, I'll look
So
that up. I'm
yeah,
just curious.
so
now.
I'm not super sure what all that stuff is. The same thing with like they mine silver and nickel, and I mean a lot of that stuff used to be in coins and all that stuff, but it goes into everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
nickels
so-
and all sorts of stuff, silvers and solar
Copper
panels.
and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Copper and
Everything.
we
Houses.
need more copper.
Yeah. Arizona's huge for copper mines,
Mm-hmm.
so and I
And-
think New Mexico too.
So have you worked with all these different types of mines?
In a roundabout way, yeah, because
Okay.
we have provided like drill steels and subs and different kind of things for them to drill the stuff. So I mean, usually if a copper mine like I think it's called Del Arco out of Arizona, we built some drill steels and stuff for them.
Okay.
But a lot of these mines, every so often, they'll switch vendors, so they're probably using a different guy right now. So
Nature of the business.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's very rare. It's pretty rare to keep one mine to itself. We've been lucky with the Silver Standard Marigold mine, Kinross Bald Mountain. That luckily we've been a really good help for them and provider, and they kind of stayed loyal and kept buying from us. So even
Is
when
it-
we shut down, they were one of us that they wanted us to get back and going. So
Okay, cool. So, is a copper mine, a coal mine, a gold mine, are they all using the same type of equipment, or is it all different?
oh yeah,
They're
all
all
using.
They're
yeah,
all
it's just-
using real
yeah.
similar equipment.
Yeah,
It
most of
probably
them-
depends on the terrain.
Yeah,
I'd
I mean,
imagine.
at the end of the day, like everything that's a down the hole mine or a surface pit mine, it's all drill and blast. So I mean, they still got to use the drill steels to go down X amount of feet, and then they set their charges, and they blast, and they come in with the shovels on their buckets, and they just load them up, take them to the crushers.
Is
They
there
go to the
any-
crushers, and then they go to the processing plant.
Is there any truth to the movie Armageddon?
Well,
I think for
we
the
have
general
never.
public, I think most.
I have
people,
never
that's
sold a drill steel to someone who's going to go drill a rock in space.
So you're not sure.
I mean,
But
at
was
the
it-
grand scheme of things, like when we saw it, I mean, yeah, they're using drill pipe. They have to go down X amount of feet.
That's
I
how
mean,
they do it, right?
Yeah, and they're using. It looked like they had rotary drill bits. So,
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
from
don't
my
know.
understanding, I kind
I
of
mean, I
remember
see,
there
like,
were
for
some
the
rotary,
general public.
yeah, some rotary tricone bits, and they had some big ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, possibility of us doing that with that, yeah. I mean,
Got it.
I don't think that they had enough. There's the quantity of like tricones that mines buy to do holes. So on average, like depending on what mine, so if you got a good ground, it's kind of soft ground, you can get about 4,000, maybe up to 10,000 feet in one tricone.
Then you have to just switch out. The
But
whole
then you
cone.
get abrasive grounds, and they can get like 2,000, 4,000 feet.
like harder rock.
Yeah,
or
yeah, it's
granite
like
or something.
just real hard ground, and there's
Yeah.
definitely rocks and all that stuff. So like for them to drill, I think those guys were getting like just barely any footage out of one, but the amount of tricones that they would need for what they were trying to do, like they'd probably need like 50 spaceships to carry them for to get through that rock.
So Armageddon's shit.
It's not shit, but it was a sad movie at the end, right? Poor Bruce.
Bruce, man.
Yeah.
You gotta love Bruce.
A little tearjerker right there.
If you haven't seen Armageddon, check it out. Check out the drills,
Yeah.
and if we ever have a meteor hurling at us, you might be saving the planet.
I won't. They'll probably ask Bill, maybe.
Okay, maybe Bill will be up
He'll
there.
just yell at them, tell them they're all stupid. So let me
So-
do it.
I could see that.
Yeah.
So a big, like, kind of a hot topic for a while was coal.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it's not good for the environment. Kind of like
Nah.
But I've read on the contrary.
Yeah.
I think you hear that narrative.
Well, I
Is
think a
there
lot
any
of
truth to it?
that coal's bad for the planet.
Yeah,
Well,
because like you still got to get
eh,
energy. Any way you're gonna get energy is
okay.
gonna do
So
something.
coal is the most natural fuel. So coal oil is the easiest to produce, and it's the cheapest way to make energy. So is it terrible for the planet? Well, yeah. Anything that you use and you burn, it creates gases in the air. It causes what, or you put up nuclear power plants,
Yeah.
which they say is bad, but it's most
Or you
cleanest burning energy
or
there
you
is.
drill huge
Or
pits for
yeah,
lithium.
or you build hundreds of miles of windmills, and then when those go bad, where do you bury them?
We've worked with some
So,
windmill farms.
but like coal, there are coal plants, especially in like Colorado, that burn such clean coal. You don't even see the smoke
That's
out
what
of
I've
them.
heard. So that's what
Yeah,
I've read. I've heard like if you do it right,
yeah,
you can burn it
yeah,
clean.
clean.
It's not gonna be 100%.
There's dirty coal out there. So like you go to like India and China, like
Uh-huh.
they buy cheap burning fuel coal, which has a lot more of the, I guess, the bad gas that comes up into the air. But I'm not like like a degree in any of this stuff, but
But you know
coal,
more info than the
yeah,
common
but I mean,
person.
but the common, like the reality of what we do, and I mean, for like them using coal and all of our energy systems and sectors, it's like it's a good source of fuel at a cheap cost, and it's something that you can get around worldwide to people. Even today, I mean, they still got. It's better to burn coal, in my opinion, than burn wood and
Yeah.
horse dung.
Yeah.
And it's like that stuff causes a lot of problems. But the whole battle over coal and oil, it's like I don't think our world or economy is ready to switch over completely over there. And if they're gonna like switch over to all these battery operated cars and get rid of diesel trucks and gas running vehicles, they need to have a better plan than just like, well, let's shut everything down in
Yeah.
5, 10 years,
Oh, we
and
don't
let's
have
just
the.
switch over.
It's not that easy.
No, it'll never
And
be
I'm
that
not
easy.
even like arguing one way or the other. My whole argument is there's always more to this story.
Well, look up a lithium mine and see what that looks like.
Oh,
It's
they're
luckily
crazy.
we do have one of the biggest lithium mines, and that's being the Blackbird mine, which is up by Salmon. But
Yeah, I've heard that.
you go to Africa and look up their lithium mines and how
They're
they're
just having to go
producing it.
deeper and deeper.
Yeah, we'll see how they're digging it. They just got
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of people sitting there chipping away at rocks. Look at those living conditions, especially if there's a slide. How many of
Yeah.
those people are going to be dead?
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
exactly like, we figured out how to drill for coal and how to drill for oil.
Mm-hmm.
And
And we need all these materials. We need all these minerals. We need all this stuff for our economies to work. Like
Yeah.
we need it, and we call it in our recycling world. We call it above ground materials and below ground materials. Like once they're above ground, if we can keep them in the stream, that's what we do.
Yeah.
But that we also need both. We need you to get more
Yeah.
as we build, especially if we're gonna really go to like electric. We're gonna need a lot more copper. A lot more copper.
oh yeah,
We're gonna need a lot more lithium. We're gonna need a lot more silver. We're gonna need a lot more gold. We're gonna need a lot more all of it to make that happen. And that's like a 20, 30, 40, 50-year process.
and they're also going
To
to have to
get
figure
there.
out how to keep those batteries going, especially when it gets cold, like over there in
Yeah, and and I'm not
Wisconsin
saying
and all that,
and
and then they don't have anywhere to charge them.
innovation, they might figure that out, or
They will.
they'll maybe figure out something different, or something else might win, or maybe they'll go back to gasoline.
Well, the craziest thing about us is like technology. We are very good at technology, just as a group of people. It's just we're very keen on how to make things better. And even now, I mean, like a new computer compared to a 2-year-old computer is like decades ahead.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll figure it all out. It's just the whole political nonsense of we got to stop everything now or the world's going to burn up in 10, 15 years. It's like you guys are pushing your own little politics on that so that you guys can benefit from this clean energy. It's all about money, though.
And it's unfortunate that sometimes a lot of times politics and money get involved where the public doesn't get the full truth.
No.
And I don't know the answers. I'm just saying,
no.
Don't just listen to everything you see on TV.
Well, it's a little hard to go buy a $100,000 Tesla when you can buy a $40,000 gas rig too. It's a little easier on the pocket.
Yeah.
The gas rig.
100%.
So until they get these cars down to $40,000, $30,000 brand new, I think people are still going to be fine with putting petrol in their car.
We're gonna have both for a long time.
Yeah.
We're gonna have both. I don't see the electric going away. I don't see gasoline ones going away.
Not anytime soon.
Like me,
maybe in 100 years, maybe we'll be fully more electric, but there's still going to be needs for the diesel and the gas and all that stuff.
For what we do, like when I go to our Twin Yard or Hayburn Yard, I couldn't take an electric car because I couldn't get home.
No.
I could go there, and I like to come home at night.
Even if they had little gas or little charging stations, how long is it going to take you at each station?
I don't know, even those rapid ones.
Those trips could take a long time.
So I'm like, that would really suck. Like, I like to, even though it's a long day, I like to come home. I don't want to have to stay in a hotel and charge it.
Right.
And so and I'm not the only one in that situation. Are there people that could totally use them if they could afford it? Yeah, I'm sure it's sustainable, But I know there's places with free charging stations. There ain't nothing free in this world.
No.
Just so someone's paying for it. If it's not you, you're probably paying for it somehow. But
nothing's free from this world.
So you guys shut the doors.
I did get a silver coin for free today, though. I was like, sweet.
Who do you get it from?
A guy at work, Scott, gave me a silver coin. He's like, "You've been asking about silver coins." I'm like, "Yeah."
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool. All right. Well, I guess I take it back. You can get something for free once in a while.
So I was like,
so you said you shut the doors in, was that 14?
15.
15.
So we shut the doors down, and then, like I said, we were just Bill was getting calls day and night, and he was getting calls at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, "Hey, we're down. We really need something. Are you sure you can't, figure out how to get us this stuff?"
Help me one more time.
Yeah.
Like type of thing.
And so he just called me up, and I was just doing some personal training at the time, and he's like, "You want to go back in business?" I was like, well...
You open your own gym? Did you guys open your own gym?
No, I didn't. No. I was just doing some personal training on the side.
Oh, okay.
And then we just restarted back up.
What year is this, though?
That was 2016. About, I think we got a new building in October, and we ordered a handful of machines. So so then we were up and going around December. We got our machines in. So then we were getting the materials in, and I called all my old suppliers and was like, "Hey, we're restarting business. You guys come back and work with us and kind of do the same deals that we did before." And they said, "Yep, you guys are still good."
Did you retain everyone? There's no way you retain everyone, right?
All the old customers?
Yeah.
No.
But you gotta keep some of them.
We did get a handful. The only way we were going to do that is we were going to make sure that these customers were for sure that they were going to come back with us, or there was no chance that this was going to happen. So they all said, "Yeah, if you come back," they told Billy, "You come back, we're going to work with you again strictly." So that was really good for us. So 2017 was a good year. We ended up losing a couple of customers in 2017 because our office guy who forgot to put bids in, so we lost some. And so 2018 we were kind of like, what did we do? We were getting a little slow, missing some. Me and Bill were not taking paychecks once in a while. And then 2019 came around, we started picking up some other customers. Our name was getting back out there that we were back in business. And then 2020, it just kind of exploded from there, and we just been swamped since.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So you guys closed for a year, and you got back at it.
Yeah, we were closed for about 9 months. So,
not
yeah,
even a
not
year.
even a year.
I
Yeah.
remember when you called me. I
Yeah.
just couldn't remember the timeline.
Yeah, so 2000, the end of December of 2015, we had an auction. We lost our butt on the auction. Just nobody wanted to buy anything. And we had a lot of dinosaurs. I mean, we had we had a machine called Killer that came off of I think the USS Arizona before it left to Hawaii. Before it was a machine that they were making man, what guns were they? They were making the big long the, for the USS Arizona. They were making the gun cannons. There you go.
Those
The
big
cannons,
ones
yeah.
on the battleships.
Yeah, so but they wanted to go bigger, so they ended up getting rid of that machine, and somehow, however Bill did it, he ended up getting that one. You guys scrapped it. You remember that long green one?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Uh,
You scrapped history, dude.
that hurts my heart a little
Yeah,
bit.
you
man.
scrapped American history right there.
I did not. I was not aware of that story.
Jay was the one.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah. Jay was.
Yeah.
Jay helped.
He's
with
like,
a
we'll
lot of
cut
that.
this up, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Hurts our heart.
yeah.
This guy cut all that out of there. I'm just kidding.
Right? So I mean, a lot of that stuff just went to scrap, and we ended up selling some stuff to some local guys, and then
I went to that auction.
Yeah.
It didn't go good.
No, well, the guy who ran the auction, the online portion just was not working. The guys were like, "Hey, I'm buying this," and then people were just sitting there at the auction, were just buying everything for peanuts.
For scrap.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
you
that's
guys
too
actually
bad.
helped us out. I think you guys give us a way better price because I think you felt sorry for us.
I think we
I was
took
sitting
care of
there
you.
crying.
And
I
we
was
got,
crying.
We got it out of there. You know? But the reality of it is this: like, when we get it, like you said, we cut it up.
Yeah,
And we
we
scrap
scrap
it.
it.
That would have been a little
Melt it
screwed up
down.
if I sold it for 100 G's to the
Right.
Smithsonian or something. Then I'm like, hey,
Right.
here's an extra 10 grand.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
But that's where I tell people, like, because people, like, we get so much. We do get a lot of cool stuff, man, but we have to move on.
Yeah,
You
it
have
gets
to
moved.
just move on, or we would have a yard full of stuff.
Right. Antiques.
Well, I'm glad you guys are up and running. You've been a great customer of ours. We appreciate it. The stuff we recycle for you, I'd like to just get into that real quick. Like what comes off of your production that gets recycled?
So like a lot of the stuff, so we machine everything from like 1026 mild steel, 4140 anneal, then 4140 HT QT, which is quench and tempered, so hardened 4140, and then 4145 modified, which is kind of like the materials they use in the oil field. And so obviously we're making a lot of machine chips. Then there's the pipes that we use.
The chips are coming from you
Machine,
building the
yeah,
threads,
churning,
the
churning,
threads,
yeah, churning
making
and
the threads.
churning and threading.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's those, and then usually too, it's like a lot of these mines will send us their materials back to see if we can rebuild them or fix them up, and then there's just some of them that's just like these. This is done.
Are you able to fix them a lot though and send them back, or do they just get scrapped?
Yeah, it just really depends if they're productive at measuring before they send. Like I've gotten guys who will send me like just a truckload of scrap, and it's like, dude, like this is, unless you plan on going down to a smaller like drill steel size instead of going from like 5.5, now you guys want to run 5-inch. There's no way I can fix this. So if it's usually about 5 3/8 from 5.5, then I can fix it.
You can work with that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really rebuild the pipe ends. We'll just make the new ends and put them on there. Now, they really want to use like 5-inch OD with 5.5 tool joint ends, then, I mean, that's an option, but that's very rare. And that actually never really ever happens, but
Got it.
But it does happen once in a while. So, but the pipe we send you guys, I mean, a lot of that is just scrap ends, or we cut parts off that we no longer were able to use, or they're just too small. So we throw them in the preferred bin, and there you go.
So one last thing. What is your word of advice for the younger generation that's trying to get into the workforce that maybe doesn't want to go to college? What kind of advice would you give that person?
Oh boy. Find something you're good at. Find something that you like. Find something that you see yourself that you could end up taking what you're doing and what you're learning and start your own business. And don't cut out bad people. Find people who are like-minded as you, and do not fall down in a pit of like depression and despair, and always make sure that you know that as long as you keep working towards the goal you got, things are going to look out, and invest in smart things like silver coins. There you go.
Or working out.
Or working out.
For
yeah,
real.
yeah.
Like, I think
That's a healthy thing for you.
I think a lot of people don't.
Find healthy habits, and don't waste all your money on lots of stupid stuff like purses, watches, and all that kind of stuff. And put your money into actually stuff that's going to create value. So like assets, land, silver, gold,
Commodities.
and you know, it's cool to have nice trucks and nice cars, but they all come with a price tag, and then the insurance price tags on that. And as soon as you can, buy a home when the market's down.
Yeah.
And interest are low.
Yep. It's hard right now.
Don't give the bank all your money. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks.